You know, when I was talking all that smack on America last week, this isn't what I intended to happen. But it's a start. Welcome back to the Fast Track. We're finally wrapping up our F3 series this week at what is easily the oldest track on the schedule, the Autodromo José Carlos Paz in Interlagos, Brazil. Originally, the land this track was built on was intended to be used for housing, but the stock market crash of 1929 and subsequent constitutionalist revolution in 1932 put a stop to that. After a very controversial race on the streets of Sao Paulo in 1936 that resulted in the death of 5 people and the injury of 30 more, the Automotive Authority of Brazil at the time, the Automóvel Clube do Brasil, would approach the owner of the aforementioned land, a British engineer and entrepreneur named Luis Romero Sanson, about repurposing it into a racetrack, to which he agreed. Construction would begin 2 years later and be inaugurated on the 12th of May, 1940. F1 would start visiting on the regular in 1972, first as a non-championship race, then as a full-fledged GP the year after, and save for a few years where the nearby Jacarepaguá circuit would take over due to both safety and national image concerns of all reasons, the rest is history. But what about the many names this track is known by? Well, Interlagos comes from the fact that this track sits between 2 artificial lakes, the Guaraparanga and Billings reservoirs. As for the name José Carlos Paz, that I totally didn't read as José Carlos Pache when making this script, he was a Formula 1 driver who left his mark on the sport by becoming one of the very few Brazilians to take a win at his home Grand Prix at this very track, though not the first, as Emerson Fittipaldi beat him to the punch by 2 years. He would die in a plane crash in 1977, during what was already a grim time period with the sudden death of fellow driver Tom Price, and the circuit would be renamed in his honor in 1985. As for the track itself, it definitely stands out as a track that you can have a good fight on, with plenty of places to send it on someone regardless of dirty air, and the track being plenty wide enough for 2 cars most of the way around. Just don't tell Max Verstappen that. Or Charles Leclerc. Or Lewis Hamilton. You know what? Don't tell anybody that. Let's just get through this final hot lap and just be done with it. Begin by braking around the 50 board for turn 1, hugging the inside as much as you can to take 2 as flat as possible. Careful not to cut the inside of each apex too much here, or risk spinning the car. You can hug the inside curb going through 3, but be mindful not to get too greedy with it. Brake a little bit past the 100 board for turn 4, being mindful of the understeer on exit. Hold it flat through 5 before tapping the brakes at the 50 board for 6, downshifting to 3rd gear, pinning it through 7, and getting on the brakes for 8 as soon as the car straightens out. Compromise your exit here so you get the best entry into 9. Keep a bit of space between your car and the curb going through, and pin it on the exit heading into turn 10. Watch the rear brakes and throw it in for a late apex there. Turn 11 is also flat, but brake about halfway between the end of the outside curb and the 50 board for 12. Keep off of both curbs, but maximize your exit, as you'll be holding it flat for the final stretch of the lap. With all of the sudden direction changes on this track, having a responsive front end will be quite important, be it adding camber, stiffening up the suspension, anything you can do to get it to react on a dime. Having a planted rear end to reassure the car as you send it is another key to success I found in my testing. Bringing the weight or aero balance rearward through adjusting the wings or ride heights can stabilize it, but the benefits will taper off as it is moved more and more rearward, and you'll be able to tell with how sluggish the car will start to feel. And as I show you the final calculations for this series, something I should let you all know about is that this track loves to cook tires through the second and third sectors, so you might want to try out the hards for race trim if you find yourself struggling with tire temps on the mediums. And to wrap up this video and this series as a whole, I just want to get a few things off my chest. Number one being that I really did enjoy making these videos, much like Season 3, just getting those creative juices flowing and just being a distraction from the world around me, which, you know, all good entertainment should do. Unlike Season 3, though, I do not want to let the channel die. I will kind of want to continue experimenting with certain things and just seeing what works and whatnot. Got a few ideas. I'm not sold on anything right now. So, yeah. Number two is that the Red Bull Ring video blew up. Like, it is actually surprising how much attention that video got. And, which is hilarious because I actually ended up going about a half-second faster off-screen after I recorded the lap for that video, so I want to go back and do an addendum for that, and same with Road Atlanta. I might just combine the two into one video, but I do want to go back and go more in-depth with what I did there. So, yeah, stay tuned for that. But for now, that kind of wraps up this entire series, so if you enjoyed what I was doing for the past 6 weeks, go ahead, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and good luck on the race with the race on Wednesday. Till then, take care. Freezing in here. Why is the AC even on?